Okay, so this is 24th of April, Friday. Usually during this time, there will be a Blessing Us Training Academy call that will last for 2 hours. It's almost 9 p.m. Singapore time, but the call has been postponed. So tonight, I happen to have some time and to do something which might be very important for some of you. I don't know whether it will be beneficial, but I do think that there are lots of people who are running online events now. Like actually, literally you can see that every moment on my Facebook account, I can see Mr. A is running a Facebook Live, Miss B is running a live event, Miss C plus a group of people are running multiple speaker events. So there are tons of contents online which you are spoiled for a treat, honestly. Okay? So I don't know how many people will be watching my Facebook Live. Is it a good night to do it? I don't know. It's just that I decided to do this, and I also want to document this so that I do not need to repeat myself. I can, after this Facebook Live, repurpose it to my Facebook group, also on my YouTube channel, and can cut it to put it up on Instagram and TikTok. There's so many places I can repurpose this Facebook Live. So I'm happy to do this, not a problem. Now, as promised, begin at 9 o'clock. Interestingly, nobody watched it. Okay, this is good. It means that I don't need to worry about talking to someone and have to engage, which is my point, which is something that I may not like. All right, so welcome to this Facebook Live. Today's topic is fundamental flaw of 5130 strategy. So what are you going to learn in this 1 hour is number one, what exactly is this 5130 strategy? Something that we teach during VideoHero and BrandHero, or maybe some other courses that we run. But the point is that there are many people who are not part of the community, somehow extract the information and therefore use it in their own right. And of course, the problem is it may not work. So we'll talk about number one, what is this strategy about? And number two is why is this a good strategy to start with? And how do we actually implement this strategy? And then finally, the key point is that what is the situation whereby there is a flaw in this strategy? So one thing you learn in marketing is that it's no harm going to test. It is important actually, and rather than relying on someone who tells you whether this work or not, you go and test it and you create results. But the point that I'm making is that 5130 strategy can't be anyhow used, because if you do not use it properly, or if you do not fulfill certain prerequisites, what happens is that the strategy won't work. Okay, so that is what I'm going to do. So I'm going to share my screen. Okay, so on my notability, I'm going to talk about a couple of things here. So number one, what is 5130? Well, 5130 is actually not a brain, it's a no-brainer. It just talk about it's just to give the name, give this strategy a name. Okay, so somehow we decided to talk about this as 5130. So on Facebook, you may see some people will say something like this. Okay, so this is what they said. They said looking for looking for five, whoever, this will be your target audience, to something. So this is your audience. This is what they want in next 30 days. Okay, and then comment 5. Let me do it properly. Comment 5 below. So this is the structure of a 5130 strategy. It is a post on Facebook. All you need to do is to key in this, looking for 5, whoever your target audiences are, to achieve something they want in the next 30 days. And the call to action is comment 5 below. So that, therefore, you will say that this is the 5 5130 strategy. That's just the name of it. Okay, so the question is this: why is this important to know? Well, this is what we call looking for someone who has a problem, looking for someone who has challenge. And all you say is that, come and talk to me. By comment 5 below to my post, what happened is that I will start engage with you. And there's a series of processes after this engagement. Okay? So this is a pretty good strategy because number one, instead of me going to make a call or to push people to buy things that they don't want, like the good news is that we are stating the problem, the challenge my audiences are facing. And all I say is that if you are interested to have the result, comment 5, and then I will talk to you. So who gives the permission to talk? The potential prospect. Unlike the typical sales situation, the salesperson has to be the one pushing for the sale. For this one, no, not really. It's because the audience who respond 5 actually said, give you permission now to come and talk to me. Then, of course, you have to do a good job. You have to do a good job because there are sequences, there are steps involved how you engage. So this is really something we teach in VideoHero and BrandHero. So I'm not going to review the content to the public. So I presume that people who use the strategy would know how to engage, because the key element about this strategy is not only you put this post properly, you also have to know how to engage. You cannot just, when someone comment 5 and you just say thank you, it doesn't work. You have to engage. Okay, so this is pretty cool. Does it work? Yep. In my case, I used this strategy twice this year. So far, this is April 24th. You can see that I only used this strategy twice. And the latest one, the result was sometimes back in late last week of March. 667 comments, 67 shares. I actually do it in such a way that I don't even want to use my normal way to engage with my audiences, because Facebook banned me from talking to my audiences. So how many of you would love to have Facebook says you cannot talk to the audiences? It's very powerful. When you know how to use it, it is super powerful. But of course, the key thing is that you need to know how to engage. That's the key. So I have engagement 1.0. I have engagement 2.0 that I work with my students in my group. I'm teaching how to do 2.0. So this is not the purpose of tonight's Facebook Live. So just understand something. So you can say, hey, so give you an example here. So looking for 5 business owners. Okay, looking for 5 business owners. So if your target audience is business owner, okay, to triple their sales in 30 days. Okay, and then all you say, comment 5 below. Okay, so this is what I usually see online, that people would love to just put this 5130 online just like that. Okay, so I've seen an example. Looking for, okay, for, yes, let me write this properly. Looking for 5 speakers Okay, so the target audience is speakers to close on platform in next 30 days. Comment 5 below. Okay, so this is another one I see. Give you one more. So let's just work on some of these. Look for business owners to increase sales using video marketing in next 30 days. Comment 5 below. Okay, so these are some of the examples that I typically see online. So it requires you to, number one, know who are your target audiences. Number two, what is that thing they want to solve the problem? And then, of course, you need to be precise in terms of the call to action. Comment 5 below. Okay, so then what happens is that if you hit the nail, then this is what will happen. There's a comment 5. There's another one. So A comment 5, B comment 5, C comment 5, D comment 5. If your post is very viral, then this is the thing. And then all you need to do is just to do something called engagement. Okay, so again, I'm not going to talk about engagement tonight. It is actually reserved for students who actually pay to learn. So I'm just stopping here for engagement. Okay, so this is a 5130 strategy. Sounds simple, sounds easy. Because it's so simple, it's so easy, there are people who just model this. There are people who just go ahead and copy this. Okay, so I've seen some very funny thing, some funny 5130 online. Just this week alone, I have seen something very interesting. Look for, instead of looking for, look for 7 sales people to increase sales in next 30 days. Comment bingo below. I was scratching my head. Suddenly the call to action is bingo. It's like, obviously, when the person put 7, put bingo, I know the person is not one of our graduates in VideoHero. Confirm, because we never talk about comment something which is not easy to know or easy to type. We don't talk about 7. The 7 are too many. Okay, so this is a very interesting one that I saw this week, and I can confirm the person has not gone for VideoHero. So what happened is that some people that I know, all they see is that they see a post, okay, that with a lot of results, okay, and then they said, wonder why this post is effective. But of course, because they didn't pay to learn, they said, okay, maybe it's because of the power of that post. So all they do, they just copy and paste and put this in their own post. And then they hope that the magic will happen. But here's the problem. The problem is this: when they decide to copy and paste the post, somehow this is what happened. Somehow there's no comment. There's no response. There's no like or any emoji. And then they wonder, shit, this strategy does not work. Okay, so tonight I'm going to spend a little bit of time talking about why this strategy doesn't work. Because there is a missing piece. And this missing piece is very simple. So I'm going to illustrate a couple of things why this doesn't work. Number one, we are talking about COVID-19, by the way. So COVID-19, your audience. Number one, who do you speak to? Okay, so this is your key. Most people, they said that I am targeting to everyone. When you target to everyone, you target to nobody. So number one is that, do you know who are your audiences? Who do you serve in the market? If you don't know, then obviously 5130 won't work. So many of my students who didn't approach me beforehand actually didn't know who they are serving. In other words, when I ask, who do you serve? What's your market? They say, I don't know. Okay, or they said, I serve sales people. Okay, I serve entrepreneurs. I serve business owners. I serve freelancer. Now, due to the limitation of that post, because on Facebook, in order to put the 5130 on the post, I think based on what I know right now, you can only have 155 words, which is worse than Twitter's, by the way. Twitter is allowing you to put 160 words or character. So for Facebook, you can put 155. Depends on which phone, like iPhone may have a restriction. Androids, you can cheat a little bit to have a longer paragraph. But the point is that you must be absolutely clear who you are serving, because if you don't know who you are serving, your message won't be clear. That's the first thing that I said why this strategy failed, because you do not know who you are serving. Okay, let's talk about salespeople. Like salespeople, you've got to ask, like, what type of salespeople are we talking about? Number one, there are many types of salespeople. So there are telemarketers. The ones who do cold calling. There are people who are the brokers. So they are in sales, but they actually pull the deals as intermediaries. And they might be closers. So it's like they are not responsible for lead generation. All they do is when the lead comes, they just close it. So you have cold call, you have the middleman, and of course you have the closer. So in terms of salespeople, what type of salespeople are we talking about? Because if you don't know, your message won't be clear. Talking about the business owners. Business owner is a very big term. It's a very big word. If let's say I'm just talking about business owner, for example, number one, which industry am I talking to? Or which segment of that industry am I looking at? Jack. But if I go so narrow, go specific, I will not have any clients. No, it's not. It is good to be specific. It is good to have a narrow niche. It's called narrow niche marketing. Okay? So even though you just say business owners, you've got to answer these questions. Okay, number three, at what stage or what cycle are they at? Are they a startup? Are they already a small business enterprise? Are they already middle size? Are they looking for growth, or are they looking for IPOs? So at each stage of the business cycle of a business owner, the issues are completely different. Because if you do not understand this, then of course you won't be talking to the right people or the people that you would like to serve. Okay, talking about entrepreneurs. Okay, this is even better. So many people are talking to entrepreneurs. Okay, so what's entrepreneurs? There are two types of entrepreneurs. There is a S entrepreneur. There's a B entrepreneur. Robert Kiyosaki talked about self-employed and business. Okay, so entrepreneurs can be two types: S entrepreneur or the B's entrepreneur. Which type are you talking to? Because their problems are totally different. Because if you just merely copy the word salespeople, okay, salespeople, business owner, and entrepreneurs, but you do not deep dive exactly who you are serving, then you will not work, because your messaging will be wrong. Because you can target to the person in category, but their problems are different. Their problems are unique. So therefore, if you want to target to the S entrepreneurs, perhaps the S entrepreneur in COVID-19, what are they focusing on? Do they want to scale the business? No. What do they want? Survival. For S entrepreneurs who are the freelancer, who are the SME, right now this is the key, the survival. So if you are talking about, wow, you want to have a thriving business, you want to scale it to the next level, they don't even know whether they can survive tomorrow. So your market message is totally wrong or off track based on what they are facing right now. So like I put a post today on my Facebook saying that majority, no, not majority, but rather what did I say? I say that 33.3% of SME in Malaysia do not have enough cash flow. And this is only for March. And 37.8% of the SME will have no cash flow after April. So to the SME in Malaysia, they are looking for one thing called survival. If you do not give them the tools, the solution, they may not exist anymore. Does that make sense? Okay, so this is the first thing you need to know for speakers. Okay, for speakers. Okay, so this is something. So I've seen something like looking for speakers to find out how to create online program. This is the first one I saw when suddenly a lot of people are concerned whether to put their events online or put their program online. Till today, I still see a lot. Okay, so their concern is like, how do I put my programs online? Ada, first of all, who are we talking to? Are these corporate trainers? Are they doing public event? Are they speaking as a paid speaker or a keynote? Are they closers on stage? There are so many types of speakers around. So again, the question is, if you don't know who you're looking at, then what's the problem of the corporate trainer? Companies don't have the budget. Companies don't want to hire corporate trainers right now. So corporate trainers without any ability to market, they rely on referrals and word of mouth. They are now waiting for the next opportunity. That's the pain. For public event, COVID-19 make everybody stuck at home. You are not able to run any live event. One of the largest seminar organization is now facing a big problem because it is not able to run live events. It has not been running live events since February all the way to June. For paid speaker, companies have no budget. Companies do not want to host any event because they can't and get this paid speaker to do keynote. And nobody has actually come up with a solution or a formula to do a keynote online. Well, it's starting, but it's not still very popular. So you see that even though you target your speakers, there are different problems faced by different types of speakers. So you've got to be very, very specific. How about the closer? Well, it's not about create an online program, because for the closer, they just want to make sure that they can sell online. Not live event, but online. Okay, so therefore, when you are talking about looking for speakers to increase sales, is it true for everybody? Maybe not. So you've got to be very specific in what you say, because if you do not know who you're looking at, you are not able to distill and identify their problems. Does that make sense? So the biggest mistake number one is that although you seem to know your target audience, like speaker, like entrepreneurs, like business owners, but you have no clue when I ask you deeper what exactly that narrow niche, narrow group that you're targeting at. You don't know. So if you don't know, then this strategy will fail, because part of the strategy requires you to know the target audience with the specific problem, and then you are giving them something called hope. But if you do not know their problem, you'll be giving them a false hope. Okay, so this is something that I believe all of you can fix it. It's not hard. It requires time. It requires time. Okay, so I'll move on to mistake number two. This is very fantastic. It's like there's something called medium. So let's say we are talking about video marketing, which is still very popular now because a lot of people are talking about doing video. So I want to learn video marketing. So if I'm looking for speakers who want to learn how to do video marketing, is that the message? Because video marketing is just a medium. Understand? It is a medium. Well, for that matter, you can actually do podcast, which is also a medium. Okay? You can also do something called written blog. Okay? This is also a medium. All these are medium. So by saying that speakers looking for video marketing, does that answer the question in terms of their pain? No, it doesn't. So if you say, I'm looking for entrepreneurs, I'm looking for speakers to make money from video marketing, that is a wrong pitch, because you are focusing on the medium. What do they actually want? What do they actually want? So now you have to talk about this thing, that is, a person before engaging you, they are very unhappy. They have pain. They have the frustration. They have fear. Their life sucks. Time, there's no time. Okay? Relationship, got problem. Not in good terms with families, children. Okay? Oh, thank you, Ricardo. Thank you for giving me a thumbs up. Okay? So now your process will help them to become a better version of themselves. No more frustration, but totally affirmation. Because they believe in themselves, there's no more fear. In fact, they have courage. Life is no longer sucking or suckish, but life is full of brightness. Previously, I don't have time. Now suddenly I have time. Relationship-wise, now of course, I won't say it's better. How about we say it is improving? Okay? So what you are doing is that what do they want? Is that they want you to come up with something that help them to experience this thing called transformation. So when you illustrate in 5130 what do they want, it's not about the product. It's not about the service. It's not about video marketing, podcasting. It's not about shooting another video. It's not about this and that. It's nothing to do with your product or service. It is the transformation process. Transformation process that leads them to come up to something called result. Okay, so if you even though you figure out the audience, your narrow niche audience, if you are not sure exactly what they want in terms of that transformation, in terms of that result, you are just saying that looking for more opportunity to speak on stage, looking to use video in order learn how to do video marketing. That's not the point. It is totally missing the point. It's not what marketing is about. Whatever you're doing in terms, including me, marketing business is all about transformation and nothing else. Marketing is not about your product, your service, or you. It's the transformation. Okay, the branding may be company branding, business branding, or your branding, but the business is all about one thing called transformation. End of story. So if you do not understand transformational process, if you are not able to articulate within the 155 words, then this is why 5130 fails. Okay, so we have just illustrated the first problem is that if you are not sure who you're serving, that's a problem. If you do not know your transformational process, that's another problem. That's why I've seen continuously many people putting their stuff online, the 5130 template, but I don't see any result. And then you ask, that strategy doesn't work. That strategy sucks. It's another scam. This is what typically marketers will be blamed for, because when the strategy doesn't work, in the first place, did you actually learn the strategy properly? Or you're just merely copying and pasting from somebody's sentences, and then think that is golden, is like the holy grail. You put it in your case, asking for people to comment, but no one comments. Okay, so let's talk about the third one. The third one is the very important one. This has nothing to do with 5130. This is something to do with what you do online. So let's talk about a scenario here. Okay, so there's a man, there's a woman. Okay, so women. So there's a man, there's a male, there's a female. Okay, so what happened is this: the male and the female have not met each other. First time out of the gate. The man is attracted by the female, or the male is attracted by the female, and the female is also attracted by the male. So now they have some click. They started attracting each other. But then the male says, Miss, I love you so much. Can we marry? I love you so much. Can we marry? Then how many of you realize that the female will say, okay, cross arm? No way. I don't even know you. Okay, so this is what I said. Most people don't understand or skip steps in something called customers value journey. Okay, so I'm not going into the detailed discussion of what customers value journey is. For the purpose of this Facebook Live, suffice to say, I'm going to say only one thing. That is, you are putting this post asking for sale. Facebook is not a place for you to make sales. Facebook can allow you to promote your product, your services, but you got to sell it somewhere. So if you merely put this post up and then through the engagement you are asking for money, nobody will want to buy unless the person is already a ready buyer, which is only 3% of the general population, by the way. Like out of 100 people, 3 will be ready to buy. So it doesn't require any effort to close. But 97% are not ready buyers. You got to do something. But the fact is that when you put this post up and then during the engagement you're asking for sale, that's too fast. Because like what we have said here, you have not done anything to engage with the female. Like this is the case. I only have met you for the very first time, and I'm now proposing, do you marry me, please? Most salespeople actually are doing this, unfortunately, because number one, they are forced by their management to clock their KPI, because there's no such thing called wasting their time. Number two, some people are just desperate. They want to get the result. So they just force the person to the corner and say yes. And that's why a lot of us who do not like to be sold decided not to be a salesperson simply because we do not even enjoy the process to start with. So therefore, how do you do this? If you're putting a 5130 and ask for a sale, you've got to, first of all, do research. Okay? A couple of days ago, actually last week, I've actually put up a post. My post is ask. What I did was I simply asked, what is the most important skills you think an entrepreneur must have? What is the most important skill that entrepreneur must have? I got 164 comments. That post is purely ask. It's just research. Because what I do with that post is whenever there is a comment, there is always an engagement. So this is what we call social listening. How many of you actually know that in order to sell socially, you are not going to do social selling immediately. You've got to do social listening. This is a term to ask what happened. Ask your audience, have a conversation to get to know them, to engage with them. Because if you don't do that, suddenly ask for a sale, nobody will want to buy, except for the ready buyer. Okay? Number two, your social influence. What do you post online is a very important thing. What do you post online? Remember, if you have been following my work, I've said that what you post online will determine your brand. If your brand is an entrepreneur, you are talking to high-end clients, then you shouldn't have any pictures about your dogs, your cats, your food. Very simply put, no pictures of dogs, no cats, no food, no family. Gary Vee is very, very good in terms of hiding his family. Because although he is everywhere, he said that you never see my children online because I protect them. So it's entirely up to you how you control what to share online. This is called have a strategy. So what it means by social influence is that what you post online will have a direct impact on your brand. Because what you want, if let's say eventually if you are selling a program, let's say you're talking to entrepreneurs, and the biggest problem of the entrepreneurs are their lead generation, which is in COVID-19 the biggest problem, lead generation, because I cannot go out to talk to clients. I cannot go out to do any what we call like networking. I can't. So lead gen is a very big problem. Number two, conversion. So I do have clients, but they do not want to buy from me because they all said no money now. Even though they have money, but prospects lie. Okay? So if you are talking to business owners or entrepreneurs, and these are the S entrepreneurs, by the way, then what you're doing is that you have to tell them, you have to not tell them, you have to be online, demonstrate that you understand their problem. What problem are you talking about? So for example, well, did you know that even though during COVID-19, you do not need to go out and meet clients because, by the way, you're not allowed to by the government's restriction, and yet you are able to generate leads through the use of technology. So create an awareness that, oh yeah, although I'm not allowed to meet clients physically, I'm not able to talk to prospects, I cannot attend any networking event right now. By using technology, I may still be able to generate leads. Okay, that is awareness. Did you know that all prospect lies? If the prospect or client says they have no money to invest in your product or service, it's only because you have not explained the values properly to make them believe that it is a no-brainer to invest. So did you do this kind of educational marketing in the first place, which is your social influencing? Because number one is that you've got to educate, you have to always think of your audiences. You've got to do that all the time. So if you find that, oh yeah, I need to talk to them, talk. You need to post something online, post. But I do not know whether they like it or not. Who cares? Post. I teach students, I don't really care how you think, what you think, or how other people perceive. All you need to do is just to post and adjust. If you do not post anything, then nothing will happen. But when you post something, the market gives you feedback, you can fine tune the message, or you can adapt the message to see whether it works better, identify what is not working, and adjust it. So it's very important for you to post, to put something online, and to educate. Always think about your customers all the time. It's not about the product. At this point in time, I have not even reviewed or talked about my products that I can help them generate the leads. It's just to address their problem, their challenge, give them some hope. You may want to consider doing your create your leads using digital media, okay? Or you may even want to consider having an expert coming to help you to generate the leads for you and on your behalf. Or you might invest your own money to create your own technology so that you can then generate leads by yourself. So you see that these are what we call the educational marketing piece. It is very important. So the biggest problem I've seen, other than the audience, other than the transformational process, which is absolutely unclear, the third thing is that a lot of people, they have not done the educational marketing piece. They have not done the social listening piece. They just outright put a 5130 online and say, looking for 5 people, comment 5 below. It's just too early. It's just too early, because if you do not post anything online, suddenly you ask for engagement. It's like a stranger online asking for engagement. I will run away. I will not give a shit. I will not even talk to you. Because they are friends on Facebook, you realize that you do not know them. They add you on Facebook, but doesn't mean that you know them. This is unfortunately the case. So if somebody put a 5130 up, if I do not know the person, I will not respond, because I have no obligation or interest to respond unless I know the person well, unless I know I can help the person. I will respond. I may even refer my contacts. Does that make sense? So on social media marketing, you do need to know at what point you have that conversation of 5130. This is the reason why up to 24th of April, I have only used this 5130 twice. I don't usually use it. When I use it, it will create a lot of results because I don't abuse it. I do not actually use it so often and to abuse it. This is what I say. You've got to understand, warm your audience, educate them, and nurture them. When they feel that you are trusted, when they feel that, okay, this guy really is an authority on the topic. Now, if I ask, would you like my help? Chances are they will say yes. So the response will just come my way. Does that make sense? So to sum up, I'm not saying that the 5130 itself is a scam. So if you think that what we teach you online is a scam, well, just number one, treat it as a scam. Unfortunately, everything is a scam. Why? Because when someone said it is a scam, he or she is literally pushing the responsibility to other people. Like I said on my description, I said that there is an essence of this strategy. There is a context of this strategy. There are principles behind these strategies. There's also what we call the spirit of this strategy. There are a lot of things behind these few lines, by the way. So if you don't know your audience well, you are not clear with who you serve, you are not clear with your process of transformation, and you just sell early. These are the 3 reasons why 5130 won't work. So how can you rectify this? Number 1, sit down. This is a weekend. So tomorrow is Saturday, followed by Sunday. This is a weekend. Look at what you are currently serving now. If you are not clear who you're serving, all you know is entrepreneur, business owner, speaker, then this is not good enough. Deep dive and go narrow. Because if you go narrow, you will know who are the people. Like tonight, you see the engagement is not a lot. Like this Facebook Live, you see that the engagement is not a lot. The reason why is that I'm very specific to people who are using 5130 strategy. So that's why I said I'm not worried about people who do not engage me. But if you do know what is the 5130 strategy, you will watch my Facebook Live, you will find out, you check out what's going on. So I go very narrow tonight at the expense of not getting a lot of people watching me, but that's okay. Because sometimes I do know I need to serve a specific group of speakers, entrepreneurs, or people who are not clear with the message. Unfortunately, like it or not, I help a lot of people to clarify their audiences. So this is the first thing. Number two, go back to your product and service. Or if you are a speaker's trainer, go back to your program. It's not about selling the program, selling a product or service, but you got to go back to the drawing board, outline what is this transformation you have done, you have created based on your product, your service, your program. What is this transformation is about? Because when you put up the 5130, you are telling them this is what you want. But unless you are clear with your transformational process, you cannot articulate what they want. Is it just because they want to learn video marketing? Is it just because they want to learn how to triple their sales? Not really. Life is not so simple one. Okay? So finally, from today onwards, have your social media campaign. Now, when I say campaign, it is not just one post. Have a plan. What are you posting? After you know your audiences, after you know your transformation process, put a campaign up and start posting relevant content and value to your people. It's all about them. It's not about you. And do not mention product or services. Education. But Jack, how many times do I need to post? As often as you can. This is what I teach my students. My Facebook literally has a lot of posts every day. You will hear there are marketers who said that don't post a lot because the social media will not like many posts, and they will do something to make sure that your posts are not seen. Who cares? If the algorithm decides to sabotage you, no matter how many posts you put up, it will be the case. So I don't really care, because let's say somebody is interested in doing research on you, go to your Facebook profile and search. Like, how many of you have experienced that suddenly one day there are a lot of your past posts were like, share, because there are people researching you. So when you put up contents consistently, there will be people who are interested in what you do and will search you, will do a research on you. So understand that it's not about how many posts you put up. Yes, it is important, but also the frequency. It's also about the consistency. You can't put a post up today and then your next post is 2 weeks later. You can't. You have to constantly think of something to engage and provide relevant content and valuable contents to your people. So that's why have a social media campaign. Start planning every day what you need to say to your people, so that they feel that, okay, you care for them because you're talking to them. They feel that you engage with them. They feel that you understand the problem. They will have a higher chance to come forward to ask you questions. So when you have this engagement, then you can actually ask them for a small commitment. Okay, subscribe to my free report. Go and watch my webinar. Go and listen to this podcast. Give them a small commitment so that they are closer to you for being converted. So part of this plan about social media campaign is not just ask for the sale on day one. Don't. Okay? So of course, in other Facebook Live, I talk about what are you posting and what is the frequency and how do you ensure that you are able to do this every day. So I'm not going to do this tonight because I'm into 48 minutes of the Facebook Live. As I said, I'm targeting maximum 1 hour. Okay, so I have only 10 more minutes to go. So I just want to sum up, okay, this 5130 strategy. So to sum up, Number one, we have talked about what is 5130. 5130 is just a strategy, it's just the name of the strategy, looking for 5 your audiences who want your result in 30 days. Comment 5 below. We have talked about why is this important, because at a certain point in time, you've got to ask for small commitment. After you have done something called awareness, after you have done something called engage, you need to create some small commitment. So this is a good point to ask for engagement and small commitment. So it is important for that reason. And then we talk about how to do this. So the how is actually explained by why is 5130 not working. Okay, so we have spent literally a long time talking about why is it not working. So the reasons are not, the 3 things that we talk about is number one, some people just don't know their specific audience. They may know that I'm targeting speakers, I'm targeting business owners, I'm targeting entrepreneurs, but exactly what groups of speakers, what groups of entrepreneurs, what group of business owners, I don't know. Okay, number 2, you're not clear with your transformation process, which is why you get stuck with that strategy. You get no comment because all you want is, okay, I'm looking for people who want to triple their sales. Is it really what they want? I'm looking for speakers to have more gigs. So I'm looking for entrepreneurs to be able to learn how to market their product and services using video. Ada, is that true? Is that really your transformation process? Think about it. Okay, number 3, we talk about social selling. Okay, social selling cycle, something that I've started teaching my high-end clients. So I've given you one, which is called social listening. Did you ask what your audiences, did you ask any question to your audiences so that you know what they are thinking in their mind? Have you actually done that? If you do not do social listening, then you are not talking to your audiences. Number 2, how about your social influence? What is your media campaign? What are you doing to educate your customers, your prospects, your target audiences? Not your product, your service, but specifically talking to them. What do they need to know? What are some of the things that they need to be aware of in order not to make mistake? You have to talk about this. Have a social media campaign so that your posts are going to be regular, relevant, and consistent. Social media campaign. Okay, so these are the stuff that will enable you to understand why 5130 will work or why 5130 will not work. Okay, so as you can see, there's a whole thing behind this 5130. It's not like I anyhow copy someone post, modify a few words, and comment 5 below, and people will start commenting like hell. It's not true. There are so many factors, considerations behind. So that means if you haven't done your homework, haven't really done the proper research, you know why this is not working. It is a wake-up call for people who just model the strategy without knowing the essence, the spirit, the context, or the prerequisite. This is a wake-up call to you. Don't anyhow copy someone's strategy without knowing exactly why we are doing what we do. Okay? So with that, that's all I have for this Facebook Live. I'm happy I finished it within 1 hour. So on Sunday night is my standard Facebook Live, 9 p.m. GMT 8. So what are we going to do? I will announce it on Sunday morning. I will always give you a prep. What am I going to talk about on my Facebook Live? So next Facebook Live, again, Sunday, 26th of April, 9 p.m. Singapore time, GMT plus 8. So I will make the announcement on my Facebook wall in that morning. All right. So till then, we next meet. Jack Wong here. I hope our path crosses via another Facebook Live, my YouTube channels, video, and of course, most of my social media posts. With that said, all good wishes, and have an awesome evening. Bye bye.